Welcome to New Zealand Rugby, where sportsmanship, strength, and Kiwi pride come together. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the top plays and the latest hot news from the field. The players who could switch national teams ahead of the 2027 Rugby World Cup really offer a fascinating perspective on how international rugby regulations are evolving, while directly impacting players' careers, loyalties, and even their mindset. Reading through the list of 13 names, I was not only drawn in by their tactical potential, but also struck by a vivid picture of the intersection between heritage, career opportunities, and personal choices in elite sport. The first thing that caught my attention was the change in World Rugby Regulation 8. Allowing an international player to switch unions, provided they have a strong link through ancestry or residency, reflects a more flexible and humane approach to athletes. I see this as a step in the right direction. Many players are born and raised in one environment, but have roots in another country. Being able to represent a nation they feel spiritually and familiarly connected to seems both fair and humane. At the same time, the rule that a player can only switch once, with a 3-year stand-down period, ensures fairness and protects the integrity of international competitions. Looking at each player, it's clear that every individual has their own story, blending reason, emotion, and personal ambition. Take Dan Kelly, for example, born in England but with Irish grandparents. His potential switch to Ireland makes me think of the choices we all face between ideals, heritage, and career opportunities. At 24, Kelly is young, energetic, and brimming with opportunities to prove himself in another national team, an exciting but also pressure-filled prospect. I can imagine the mix of pride and confusion a player must feel when confronting such a pivotal decision. The stories of Nepo Laulala and Manu Tuilagi also resonated deeply with me. Both are well-known players for New Zealand and England, but have the chance to return to their homeland or ancestral roots. I was particularly struck by Manu Tuilagi's mindset, still weighing a switch to Samoa at 34. He shows a strong self-awareness of his limits, understanding that the 2027 World Cup will likely be his last international tournament, and that his contribution depends on fitness, form, and timing. Here, I see the intersection of rationality and emotion, the desire to give one's best balanced against the reality of age, something that resonates far beyond sport. Looking at Hoskins Sotutu, Akira Ioane, and Folau Fakatava, I noticed a common theme of second chances. These players have worn the All Blacks jersey, but are no longer in the national setup, and must find new pathways to continue their international careers. I find this genuinely moving. It's both an opportunity and a challenge. They face changes in environment, team culture, and fan expectations. For Akira Ioane and Fakatava, switching to Samoa or Tonga is not just a career move, but a return to their roots, a way to honor family and culture. Pride and reflection shine through in their words, making it easy to empathize with them. Another aspect that impressed me is the players from South Africa and Australia, Bernhard Jans van Rensburg, Tyrone Green, Rhino Smith, and Lalakai Foketi, who are also considering switching teams. This clearly shows that moves between countries are influenced not only by ancestry, but also by career paths and development opportunities. Foketi's story, in particular, stands out. He had to navigate complex legal and contractual issues to return to New Zealand, reminding me that rugby is not just a game on the field but a complex system of laws, contracts, and personal rights. His courage to stand up for himself is genuinely admirable. The emotions of players facing a national switch are equally varied. Some, like rib bands, acknowledge that changing teams is not always convenient or comfortable. It can create psychological pressure and feelings of betrayal among former supporters. I think this reflects a broader truth. Every major choice carries social and emotional costs, and career opportunities don't always come with emotional ease. Another notable point is the diversity of age, experience, and positions among these players. From young talents like Dan Kelly and Tyrone Green to seasoned campaigners like Manu Tuilagi, Shannon Frizzell, or Ngani Lormape, all have the chance to switch teams, but their decisions are influenced by multiple factors: health, form, family considerations, and the chance to win international honors. This paints a vivid picture of rugby careers. There is no one-size-fits-all formula for success or loyalty. Every decision is personal and complex. I also sense that changing national teams is not just an opportunity for players, but a strategic consideration for the teams themselves. Coaches like Andy Farrell and Steve Borthwick, as well as national unions, must carefully weigh short-term versus long-term benefits, balancing talent acquisition with team stability. It reminds me that rugby is not just a high-performance sport, but a complex strategic game where every player and coach decision can alter the course of a tournament. Ultimately, I've learned not only about the new World Rugby rules and potential player list, but also about the emotions, choices, and pressures international athletes face. Rugby is not just a physical game. It is a mental journey where players must balance career, family, heritage, and ambition. I genuinely admire those willing to make tough decisions, embrace change to pursue new opportunities, and still maintain respect for their past and former teams. In summary, the 13 players who could switch national teams ahead of the 2027 World Cup offer more than sporting information. They tell a story about people, culture, and emotion. It makes me reflect on choice, loyalty, and second chances in life. Following these players evokes anticipation, hope, and reflection, as we watch to see who will make a decisive impact in the upcoming tournament. It's a vivid reminder that sport is not just about victory on the field, but about people, family, heritage, and the courage to face life-changing decisions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the New Zealand Rugby channel so you won't miss any top matches or the latest news. Catch you later.